Yeah, go for it.
Hello, everybody. Let's get all settled in here. We're very excited to learn how to create content on the web here. So, my name is Greg Wiz, and this is Brand Ridge. We're going to be talking about the CMS Editor in depth, kind of, everything about it.
So I'm going to start, and I'm going to just tell you guys that we have this web workshop day. We're just kind of announcing this in all of the sessions, that you can go to the website there. You can give us feedback on each individual session, as well as there's links to all of our speaker notes and our slides here. So those will all be posted on there, and you guys can download them and look at them at a later time. So feel free to look around if you want to look at what sessions you want to go to later today or give us feedback. That'd be great. We're just going to start by, I'm going to walk you through how to launch the editor, how you actually get to that from the CMS admin. There's a couple of ways that you can do that. This is your content items that you're seeing. It comes from right here on the content on the left nav bar. And you can either add a new item by clicking the Add New button at the top, or you can edit one of the current ones by clicking the little pencil icon next to the content item that you want. There's also a couple of other ways to get to it. We'll show you later in the demo. You can get through it from your navigation items. If you're linking to a page in a navigation item, you can get to it from there as well, or from the file manager. Once you create a page, this will be your top set of options that you have. You're going to want to put a title, a description for it, and some keywords. The keywords are what's going to be helpful for Google. And there's an SEO session later today if you guys want to go learn more about getting your pages on Google and search results. But just put some keywords that are about the page that's there. There's also these two nifty things here, the active date and expire date. If you don't set them, the page will just be normal and be viewable all the time. But what you can do is, say you had an event and you wanted the page to show up until like a registration page or something like that, until the event, or only show start at a certain date. You can set these dates and times by just checking the checkbox there, and you can set the time that you want it to either start or expire. And then there's two options once you get complete with the page. You can publish or save it as a draft. If you save it as a draft, people will not be able to see it on the site, but you can then come back later, make some more changes, have somebody else make some changes, and then when you're all done and you want it to be viewable on the site, go ahead and hit publish, and then it will be live.
So we're going to kind of just start talking about all the individual cool functionalities that the editor gives you. Right here in the top left is source. This really should be one of your best friends if you're writing for the web. I'm not going to really talk too in depth about it because there's another session, I believe, right after this one, editing source/HTML. So it's really important because what you're seeing right now here is an editor that straps down to basic HTML code. So if there are things that are acting weird, like spaces that show up, or things that you just can't explain, sometimes it just helps just to look right at the source code. Yeah. Here are your two new options. I think if you click new, it'll just completely clear out what's within there right there. That's different than before. If you were going to the content, you go click content and then add new, as you showed at the beginning. But I think that just clears it. And then templates, that's a really nice option that I would say is kind of a little bit underused here. You can have simple things like an image in the top left or table down the center. They're really helpful, and it just makes life a lot easier. And here are your basic cut, copy, and paste. I don't think you can really see those right now, but they are there. Everybody knows what those are. Don't copy and paste from Word. Do not do it. So here's some other pasting options. Even though it says paste from Word from there, do not paste from Word.
What you guys want to do is take your content from Word, paste it into like Notepad or just a plain text editor, paste it in there, and then recopy it and paste it in there. Otherwise, Word puts a whole bunch of stuff in there. You'll have a bunch of random formatting, and then you'll go look at the page, and it will look really bad. So if you're trying to do it and you are going to do it from Word, your best option is going to be the paste from Word option there. But we highly recommend just putting it in a text editor or even just typing it right in the CMS editor here.
And then spell checker, everybody can guess what that does. It checks your Undo, redo, pretty straightforward. And then find and replace.
Yeah, so if you've got a page and you want to go through and you've got, an event title 5 or 6 times on the page and you just want to change that title quick, you can do the find and replace quickly and easily without going through and trying to figure out where in the pages they were. You can replace them all.
And then
yes.
Select all of everything. Was there a question?
On the spell checker, is there anything to set it up somewhere in your settings so that it runs automatically each time you save a page? Or do you have a lot of other people editing the pages in our departments and editing that analytics back for spellings?
Yeah, it won't. Right now, you'd have to manually click it. Also, your web browser normally will check spelling too, and so the people will have the little red underlines a lot of time for most of the web browsers now that will tell you it's misspelled as well. Right, and then you'd have to click the manual check spelling option. That's something that you may, if you go to the lunch with us later, you could mention that for the CMS 4 because we're in the works on that.
And another one, remove all formatting. That's pretty similar to what we were talking about before, where we're using another program like Notepad as an intermediary in between Word and pasting into here. If you paste into there and then click remove all formatting, I believe it'll just plain text everything for you. So that's a nice shortcut if you want to go that route.
It'll do what you have highlighted. So if you want to highlight, if there's a sentence or something that you need to remove the formatting from, get rid of bold, italics, font size, whatever, just click that.
So we can paste from Word, we just have to remove all formatting after we do it.
Yes.
More accurately put.
Yes, you can paste from Word. It just, a lot of times will get calls from people that will say, my website looks really bad, and you open it up, and if you click that view source, you will see all the stuff that Word puts in there, and it's just a bunch of tags and stuff that aren't your content, and it makes it look really bad and really hard to format. These are just your standard text editor stuff, your bold, italics, underline, strike through, superscript, subscript. Bulleted lists, those are very popular. You have the numbered and the bulleted, and then you have your increase and decrease indentation, which is helpful if you're trying to just offset a paragraph. Also, you have a block quote, which is used if you're using a long quote from somebody for an article or something like that. Your alignments, your standard left, center, right align, and then the justify that will fill the whole page and add spacing between the words to do that. Also, there's your hyperlinks, which you can link and unlink. So if you select the text that you want to link, click the link button, it will pop up your window where you can put in a URL or link to another page on your CMS site. And then if the unlink would do the reverse, just unlink it. The anchor tag is very nice if you're trying to link to something further down in the same page. So let's say at the very bottom you had like a table of important numbers or something, and at the top you could say, click here to check the table, and it would just jump them down there without having to scroll down to find it.
Alright, and here are some of the fancier functions. You can insert an image from here. I believe that you can either upload, provide a direct URL, something that you found on a Google search, or even link to items within your CMS already. This would be inserting Flash. Not a lot of people are doing that more. More what's happening is people will try and invent like YouTube videos, a little bit of interactivity. We're going to show you a little quick demo of that, but if you had specifically like a Flash file, I think it's like .swf, that's the option that you would use to put it into your CMS. You can add tables, horizontal lines just to separate content if you're kind of trying to portray different things, and then special characters. These were used a lot for these sororities and fraternities here.
Just a side note on tables too. We're highly suggesting, we have a lot of people that try to use tables for layout, which is not what we want, especially when we're trying to do the responsive for mobile devices and stuff. You want to use that if you just have like a table of numbers or figures, not to if you want to align an image or something like that. So if you want to learn more about that, there's the session that's after us about HTML and the source code, and they will show you a little quick tips on how to do some formatting without using a table.
Alright, and then I kind of skipped through these middle ones, format, font size, they're pretty self-explanatory. Background color and text color, this is one thing that you really want to be careful about on the web, because if you have things that are like, red text with yellow background, and you're just trying to highlight things will get mixed together. People often ignore things that are kind of like yellow, like that train, like Google results, like ones that are advertised, have a yellow background. So it's one thing that I've done unconsciously is just try and keep it clean, simply put. And then one of the nice ones that I'm a big fan of is this full screen option right here. It'll take this little miniature window down here, just make it the whole size of the web browser, which is nice because if is anybody here like writing content for their CMS pages? Okay, all right, pretty good. That's what I like to see. One thing that you guys may have noticed is that while you're typing things here, it doesn't appear exactly the same as things would appear on the website. So if you use that full screen option, it will make the editor bigger, and you can kind of like scale things more appropriately like that. And then another great one is this show blocks. It's kind of it's almost like a light tutorial to the source code. It'll show you the underlying source code underneath it, so that you get kind of an understanding of what's happening, like where are these paragraphs, how they look like this. So if you're starting to try and like learn source code in HTML, I recommend that you just click show blocks as you're creating content.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of walk through a demo. We have a couple pages set up on the CMS, and we're just going to show you guys some of that. And if you have any questions or anything you want to know throughout this, we're just kind of going to do a demo and questions for the rest of the session here. So let us know, and we'll walk through that. Yes?
Can you make your images hyperlink to another CMS page?
Yes, so what you'd have to do is you'd have to insert the image and then select the image, same as you would select text or something like that, and then you can hit the hyperlink button and just add your link to wherever the other CMS page or something like that.
Link this guy right here.
Yes, we can actually probably show you that right here. So this is the template. This is a site that we set up that kind of shows a little bit of all of your options. And so what you would do is you would take this image here and just, see if I can get it. It is a little tricky sometimes to get the images, or just the image. There we go. So you get just the image here, and then you would just hit your hyperlink option here, and you would type in your URL. And then when we view this page later, we'll be able to click on that, and it'll take us right to GVSU's homepage. Gray, you want to walk through any of this stuff?
So, like I said, this was generated using a template, a very simple template of image in the top left. It'll give you a little title.
So here's your template options. So you've got this image with a template, and that'll do that for you. You've got these, and they're just like 3 different ones, but at least it'll give you, a lot of people use the image with the text. So they just put one image in the top left corner and then want to wrap their content around it.
So then there's the title, looks a little bit bigger. Then you can see the richer formatting things like bold, italics, what they exactly look like. Can you click full screen?
Yes. Oops, that's the show box. There we go.
Yeah, so as you can kind of scroll up right now,
It's all the way up.
yeah. Sometimes, you can see things stretch out a little bit. There's this iframe right here. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But just so you can see, like, this is more what it would appear on the website versus within that tiny window, within that CMS framework. So that, and I always like just having this here because I can focus on what I'm doing. I don't have a bunch of extra noise on the sides.
Do you want to walk them through the YouTube?
Yeah, that's probably best.
Yeah. He'll walk you through right now. We have a lot of people that have YouTube videos and YouTube channels now, and they want to put their YouTube video right on their CMS page. So Gray's just going to show you real quick how to do that, and that'll make it quick and easy. You already have the YouTube video, and then you can just embed it right on your web page.
Yeah, so you want to just go to YouTube right now?
Yep. Okay, so here is the Iron Man 3 trailer. So this will work. So then, let's see. Gray, did these options just come out, don't they? Is it this one?
It's a little bit further down.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so
So
what you
there's
want to
this
do
shit.
is I think they put add to it. That gets you in that code. Oh, never mind.
It's here. And then embed.
Yeah.
So if you go to share and then there's embed code here, this is the code that you need to copy and paste into the editor. So you get that, you can go to any YouTube video, it doesn't even have to be yours. If it was somebody else's, you just go onto YouTube like you're going to watch it and get this embed code and then just copy it to your clipboard.
So now that you have that embed code, what I usually do is I find the place where I want to put it, and I just click source now, because that is HTML code that you have there. So and you try and find kind of exactly where you want to put it in here. You can ignore the noise, or you can learn about the noise. That's why I like.
Yeah, so what you're going to be looking for, so if you wanted to put it right here, you're just going to be looking for like this paragraph of text when you get in here. So you're going to be looking for that, and which is right here. So then just after end of this here, you would just take that code and just paste it in there. And then once you get that pasted in there, you just undo it. And you can kind of guess and check too. If you paste it in there, as soon as you uncheck, turn the source off, you'll see this little iframe box. And wherever that you pasted that code, that will show up. So if it's not quite right, just go back to the source, cut that out, move it a little further down or further up, depending on where you want to go with it, and paste it back in there. Yes? Yeah, so right here is the paragraph that we wanted to paste it beneath. That's all the text there. And then this here is the text that I pasted in, this iframe stuff. Yes, yeah, you want to make sure it's not in any of those are called elements, tags, so just get it outside of any of the P's or the LIs.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. Just the way that you have to think about it is anytime that you see a P, it's just a basic paragraph.
Yep.
So you don't want it to be within that last paragraph.
So when I go back into source, you know, after that P between those two P's, I can pop that.
Yep, just drop it in there.
It could be there, however I want to place my heading, and then I put that link in there for the.
Yep.
Perfect, yeah.
And the next session on the basic source code and stuff, we'll walk you through what like the LI tags are and the UL tags. They'll kind of tell you about that, so you'll have more of an understanding when you go to this page what you're looking at versus just a bunch of words with a bunch of tags. Yes?
The P code for ending the paragraph automatically be calculated in there, or?
Yeah, it looks like it was this time. That's in fact, sometimes what I find a fault in this is that sometimes they'll put some extra junk in there. So, one common thing that'll happen, if you find random spacing like right at the top, you'll have a P tag, and then within that, there'll be ampersand NBSP, which just means space in internet code. So what I always like to do is just go into source, and I'll be sitting right up there at the top, P, like ampersand, NBSP, whatever. If you get rid of that, that'll get rid of that additional little spacing that sometimes shows up on the top.
The way that the editor is set up is every time that you hit enter, it's going to create a new paragraph, which would be those P tags on the source code, and every time you hit enter. But if you just want to go down a line and not get this space in between it, if you hold the shift and then hit enter, that's just going to take you down one line and not give you a new paragraph. If you hit enter, it will go to a new paragraph. If you hold shift and then enter, it will just break the line for you. So you could put stuff right below it, and it'll help get rid of that awkward space between paragraphs.
Is there a way to adjust the size of the video the way it shows up? I saw on YouTube there was a.
Yes.
So you just use that drop down?
Yeah, so you could change the size.
Okay.
Yeah, if you wanted to. And if you didn't remember to change it here, you can see the width and height in that copy code that you did. So you could kind of play with that even once it was in the CMS site, play with the width and height of it. And usually when you are embedding it, it will embed at a smaller size, but then they could go to YouTube or full screen it or something like that as well.
Are we able to review that, what that looks like, embed that on an actual page?
Yeah, so what you would have to do then is you can't see it here because it's just going to show you that iframe. But if you went ahead and hit publish or draft, then you would be able to go to that page on your CMS site. So like if we just publish this page because it's already published anyway. The site preview will, but I don't. Gray, did you try it? Does the iframe update on site preview? But I know that this way will work. If you see the features of the editor here and you hit the view page, you can see now you have your embedded YouTube videos right there, and then you could make sure they're the right video or whatever.
So the size thing that she was just talking about, that's
This would be the size, yes. So then you could go back and you could change the size, those numbers, and get this to adjust to fit whatever size you were trying to get it into. And that will open up a new page when you do that too.
Are there any other further questions or problems that you guys are having? We really want to leave some more time here at the end so that we can help with specific problems or issues that you guys are having. You did a great job.
Is there a specific account that we need to add YouTube videos to or associate them with Grand Valley in some way? Or
No, not that we have right now. A lot of departments will have their own YouTube channel, and then they just put all their videos there. And that way, if somebody were to click on a video, it would take them to that channel, and then they could see other videos that are similar to that. There is the Grand Valley. There's the YouTube uploader that you can upload through Grand Valley, and it will put it on Grand Valley's YouTube. That has to have closed captioning and meet all of the requirements for that.
so the others don't necessarily?
Theoretically, they should, but if they're not, if you're just linking it on the site, it's not monitored through Grand Valley's account, so they're not enforcing that. Preferably, yeah, we want to have closed captioning on all of the YouTube videos that are uploaded for disabilities and accessibility options. Yes?
On our department website, we have our planning and design standards. I work in facilities planning, and it's a large document. I'm not sure if you want to go to that and look at it. Have I done it the best way?
Sure, we can pull that up here.
I think I turned everything into PDFs. And then
Okay, so where is it in here?
facilities planning.
Oh, facilities plan. Oops. So is it right here on the?
It would be along the line, planning and design standards.
Okay, so this is what you're talking about. This long document here.
And then I read it.
Okay, so if you click, you can click the, okay. So these are opening PDFs then. And then this stuff here is individual sections.
For instance, Division 1, you click that through.
Okay. And I mean, I don't know what any of this means. Okay, this is the pages then.
Well, it leaves the actual page that has the section. This is just basically a table.
Okay.
Okay.
And then, so then you click here.
Sending it to the site, you know, all this stuff.
Right, that's what I'm wondering. If somebody comes here, are they going to know what all of these numbers mean? Because I have no idea what these mean.
They are contractors.
Okay.
The project managers, when they bid a project, they'll either give them copies of this, or they'll say refer to our planning and design standards on the section, such and such.
Okay.
But I don't know, maybe there's a better way,
I mean,
I know, because you have everything in PDFs right now, so.
is that good or bad?
You know, it's not a terrible thing, it's nice because it pronounced very well, but if I were you, what I would do is I would try and move some of that data from PDFs. What you could even do is have an individual page for each of these divisions. This is kind of the table of contents for each division.
This is more of an index. The sections in the, within each division or appendix. Like, for instance, each one of those lines has a page. So
Yeah, so
would it be
you could,
better for me to have a link for every page?
I mean, It would be a lot of work. I think it would be easier for the people coming to the page to just click that and go, know where they're going. But something that you could do that would be fairly easy is kind of like you have here, you have these links. Well, now you have all the divisions. You could use that anchor tag like I was talking about and list out your division 0, 1, 2, and then they could click it and it would drop them down. So they wouldn't have to scroll down to find division 10. They could just click the tag and it would take them down to division 10. So we can show you how to do that quick. So what you would do, okay. Yeah. Yes.
If you're looking at your web page and it's long, and there's like, you have no space anywhere, but it's within quite a big document, and you're in CMS, the lady here was telling me there's a shortcut, going to your web page, getting to where you want to be, and clicking a button that will take you back.
Yes, there is. It's the little lifesaver. So what you do is you're looking all the way at the bottom of the page here. It says, and you have to be signed into the CMS admin previously before you go to the page, or you won't see this. But you'll see this page last modified. But to the left here, there's this little lifesaver. And if you just click this, it's going to take you right to the page. Now, because of the way I was logged in, I don't have permission to view that page because that's not my CMS. But that would take you right to the page. So if we go here, for example, and we were on the site, and I clicked here, it's going to take me right to the home page, and I can quickly just edit it and save it right there. Yep. Yep, whatever page you're on, you're like, this is the page I want to edit, scroll down, find the little red lifesaver, click it, and it will take you right there. Yep.
I didn't know I didn't use for the longest time. Was at the top after submitting the content I would like to return to.
Oh, yes. So you can change this. This right now, by default, when you come to there, you edit the page, you click publish or save or draft, whatever, it will take you back to that listing of all your content. But if you just want to publish it quick, so like in one tab you have your editing, and the other tab you have your actual web page, you could change this to continue editing. So you'll hit publish, it'll take you right back to this page instead of back to your listing. So you can quickly make changes and view it. Yeah, and those options that I showed earlier are hidden behind here. Once you create a page, there's the description, keyword, effective date, all that stuff. And you can turn those on and off as you change those as you see fit as well. Within the navigation too, I was going to show you guys this earlier. If you go to the navigation, home, for example, was a content page. You'll see this right here. If you click that, that will link you to there. So if you're more used to going through your navigation structure to find your pages, you can go through navigation and then click that, and it will do the same thing and take you right to that page to edit. Anybody have anything else they want to know or any other questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Is that about the CMS editor, the CMS editor?
Sure.
Will you go to the GDSU.edu website on and can you scroll down? And on the left there, so we have the Facebook box under our support RMSC, and we also have it in the middle.
Yes.
And then we also have all of our address stuff under that. Is there any way I can move that? I know it's under site settings. Can I like move that box so it's under the address stuff, or is that kind of just defaulted and that's a big programming?
This stuff
Yeah, that stuff.
here.
No, that stuff above that one.
This one.
Yeah.
No, the way that this is set up is these here are before the address and stuff, but what you can do is if you don't use the social media option, there's a thing called navigation footer HTML, which is in site settings. There's this navigation footer. You can get the code from like Facebook or wherever else, and you can paste that code in there, which will be at the bottom of everything. So you could put that beneath there, and so instead of showing it above this, you could go to Facebook like you've got here. This is copied from Facebook somewhere. You could get the code from there and paste that in that footer link, and that will be beneath everything else.
So would it look like it looks there, or would it look like the nice box?
it would look like, well, it depends on what code you put in there. If you copied this image and pasted it down in there, it would show that. If you copied this image, it would show that. That's just basic HTML, and they can, like I said, that next session would be very helpful, would show the HTML on how to do something like that, the basic HTML. You just paste it in there, and you can put whatever you want in that navigation footer. And then that way, and then you could turn off the social media links, and it would go.
Yeah, feedback like this would be really great if you guys are doing for launch for having a CMS board
Yep.
discussion. That's like really great stuff.
Can you show us the site that has that navigation footer?
Yeah. What? Careers has it? Yep, so here is an example. This is a navigation footer. They've pasted all the HTML for these images in there. And so then they can change that as they see fit, and it's all going to be beneath all of our stuff. So if you wanted to get rid of these, you could just start taking the code and paste it down here and link it to your individual Facebook, your Twitter, or whatever, and then it would get it beneath your address. But if we have a lot of people that are wanting the social links beneath an address, that's something bring up at the CMS4. We're in the middle of designing that, so we'd love to hear it at lunch.
I don't know if this is related to the editor or if it's just the, I think it's the file management. I think that's what it's called on the left side there. We have a link to a PowerPoint that we'd like to have, but the PowerPoint is too large, I think, to load into the management
Mm-hmm.
thing. And I was just wondering if there was a way to get around that somehow.
Yeah, and a quick, easy way that you could do it is there's a lot of support, a lot of services such as Dropbox or something like that that you could upload it to, and then you can just copy that public link there, and you could put that in your CMS Editor site, and that way you're not going to have to worry about any of our file size limitations. There's also, we are talking about changing, I think, some of the file size limitations too, because they are fairly small, especially for PowerPoint presentations. But we have a lot of people that are using Dropbox. Trying to think of another option. Box.net, I think, is one. Even Google Drive now, you can upload your PowerPoint to Google Drive. It will convert it all, and you'll see that if you go to like any of our slide notes. It'll convert it to a Google presentation. Then you can copy that link and share that with people, and then they can walk through the entire presentation as well. Sure.
Another option might be to look at the actual PowerPoint. I don't know how big it is, and if you're using a lot of images in it, within PowerPoint you can compress the images, which will make the images smaller, which will make the overall file size smaller, which you might be able to upload. It depends on how hard of a learner you are, but then it'll also be a lot faster for people to download when they want to get access to it. So we always kind of recommend compressing images before we upload to the website, just because it's easier for people to access.
Anything else?
You want to talk about the tiger?
I have a question about the image inserter.
This one here?
Yeah. What are all those things?
Okay, so the URL here is where you could paste your URL from Google or whatever, or if you've uploaded it to through the file manager or something like that, you can type this and it will throw you through the file manager where you've uploaded your images. This alternative text is very important for you to fill in. If you haven't, that'd be a good thing to go through and do, because what happens is if the image doesn't load, or if somebody's using a screen reader, it will read that for them. So, if you had a picture like that one that we had on there of the bus, you could say, GVSU rapid bus or something like that, and it would just give the person an idea of what that image was if it wouldn't load, especially if they're on mobile devices. Sometimes they'll block images, things like that. This width and height will set the width and height of your image, so it will help you to resize the image if you didn't the best idea to do is to resize it prior to uploading it. Get it the size you want. Use Photoshop. There's a photo resizer here on the left. That's a free online site that will do it as well. The border, we'll throw a border around the image. You can put a number in there, the 1, 2, 3, and the larger the number, the thicker the border will be around the outside. And the V space and H space stands for horizontal spacing and vertical spacing, which will add some space to the left and right or top and bottom, depending if it's vertical or horizontal, around the image before the text would or any other items would come around it. And then the alignment will help you align it if you want to do left align on the page or right align on the page. It will align it that way. And then you also have all of this link and advanced stuff. This, I don't honestly know if anybody even uses that. That gets really advanced. You can add style tags and put some CSS on it and stuff, but I think for the most part, you just use the width, height, border, things like that. Yes?
What does it mean when you view something and you know there's a border there where a picture, an image should be?
Mhm.
There's that little X there, and there's no image.
Usually what that means is the image was linked either on the server or on a different website, and that image has been removed. So the link is still pointing to that image, but there is no image there anymore, which is where that alt text comes in handy too. Ideally, you would never have a point where you've deleted the image and you still have a link to it. But if that did happen, somebody would know what that image was supposed to be. So at least it would help them kind of make sense of it. Usually, sometimes the image doesn't load and it's the browser's fault, but most of the time it's because the image has been deleted or moved. Mm-hmm. All right, well, we'll be around here if you guys have any questions. The next session starts in about 20 minutes or so. The CMS, they're going through the basic HTML and stuff. I'm not sure what room that's in. It's across the hall there, all right? So the CMS, if you guys want to learn about the HTML to kind of make sense of the paragraph tags and whatnot, across the hall there will be one. And then I am doing another presentation with Thomas in the room next door at 10:30 or at 11:30 about the advanced topics. If you guys want to learn a little bit about the modules that you can use, the header rotate modules, the Twitter feed, things like that. We'll be going through all of that at 11:30. All right, thanks.